Pappy out, let's talk it out. What's it like? What's life all about? Oh, Pappy out, say your piece. Laugh at yourself, slap your knee. Roll up a chair, it's time for
Pappy Hour. Your hosts, Lucas Buddy and Eric Thompson. Ready for that riff?
Even if it is, oh my gosh, Babenko. Babenko.
Guys, he'll even say it's fun to say.
It is really fun to say. We talked a lot about awareness, discipline. What did he say? It was
like discipline to freedom.
Something about freedom of discipline or discipline for freedom or something. Listen to the podcast and you'll hear what he said.
Really great story of when you do have that discipline and not just a regiment, but he is able to compartmentalize things, and during a challenging time at birth, it was really helpful to just kind of have this discipline to go, okay, this is my role. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. And we do. I mean, that's kind of what we do as Pappies.
Yeah. You figure it out. You show up and you just continue to figure it out, and just trust yourself that you do have what it takes. That's another thing that we try to teach our kids all the time, that you're going to figure it out. Yeah. You have it in you to make it work
and to persevere. Right.
Absolutely.
So it's great. He also has a podcast, Bo Knows Health.
Bo Knows Health.
Great speaker. You're going to love it. He's share all that with you.
And if
some great sign language.
A little confession I have here at the top here. I've listened to another podcast for a long time, and I took a few. I'm confessing. I feel bad that I stole jokes. I didn't steal them, but I said a few things on here that I've heard on You Made It Weird, Pete Holmes' podcast. But I'm trying to figure out my own voice, and until then I'm stealing other people's that I think are funny. So so all right, confession time over. Do you guys enjoy Babenko? Eric, I appreciate you just tolerating me who I am.
I love you.
I love you.
You were going places and I was loving it. I had to bring up Pete Holmes at some point on this.
Come on.
You are a mega fan.
I do love the guy. He's fantastic. Anyway,
it's Babenko, though.
It's Babenko. Let's hear this story. All right, Eric?
Let's do it.
All right. Cheers.
I will say his...
this is for real. Yes.
Oh, my God.
This is for real.
Yes.
Let's just make sure. I just want to make sure
I wasn't ready.
hear everything.
I am on a mic now.
You are on a mic now. This thing can sometimes slide down, so I'm going to
tighten it
up a little bit.
Ba-ba-boo.
Unique New York.
Yes.
New York.
The arsonist has oddly shaped feet.
The walls in the mall are totally tall.
Yes. I love someone of the age that gets these references.
Right.
Appreciate that.
I think we are. I think we're keeping this.
When I started reading Fox and Socks, I was like, this is the best vocal warm-up. But
ever.
Yeah.
Is this a book that you read to your child?
Dr. Seuss.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah.
Fox and Socks.
Fox and Socks. Dr. Seuss had the vocal warm-up game down.
Yeah, when I was doing some of the voiceover classes, that would be my warm-up before doing a class.
It gets tongue twistery.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Bo,
Beetle bops peoples.
He knows.
We have been trying to get you on for a little while. We're super excited about this. Another dad from our community, everybody here. We love just talking to.
Fun to say. That's a warm up.
Babenko. Talk to us. Let us get to know you a little bit, and let the people out there get to know you a little bit too. Who were you before you became a dad 3.25 years ago?
3 3/4.
3 3/4.
3 3/4.
Get it right to pay the price.
The 4-year-old, soon to be 4-year-old, will let you know.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
Age is massive.
Yeah.
I told him that the other day. I was like, now you're 3 3/4, because he was always 3.5. So he's like, he was blown away. He's like, 3 3/4. What does that mean?
Second.
Yeah. You're getting so close.
And this means to him, I don't know if this is accurate in sign language and the video people here, but 3 and he thinks this is a half. So he says, versus this is 3, and he says this is 3.5. That's how he would tell people his age. I don't know if that's accurate. He's learned some sign language.
In kid logic, cool. It makes sense. Yeah. I know that this is a-hole. Yeah, that I learned that from Mr. Holland's Opus.
This one?
Mr. Holland.
Bullshit. Bullshit. That's a legitimate sign language.
That is, yep.
We tell no bullshit here.
I guess I didn't communicate with Lauren, my wife, the other day of this sign language. Or no, I was with somebody else and I went like this. I went, which means poop. Oh. Because their kid had pooped their pants.
Oh dear.
That is so. Anyway, so for this is you're learning something. This means poop.
And this is the one my wife gives me all the time. Read between the lines.
Oh yeah,
classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
This is not only a conversational, like emotional. This is an educational podcast.
Teaching. We're learning.
That's right.
I'll tell you, my wife is Lebanese. You guys have both met Maha, Raising Parents. She's over there right now. I got the hat on and do the promo. But yeah, if you guys know Mo Amer, he's a Palestinian comedian.
Oh, comedian. Yeah, I was going to say, I know a comedian by that name.
He does a whole bit about how Arabic curse words are, and I don't know how much, if we want to change the rating.
No, it's explicit. It's always,
So there's like how it's this, and then the finger in the pooper. And it's like it's the expressiveness that I do the and the other funny story I'll tell about that is that the actual Arabic word I believe, and again I don't know if this will get filtered or whatever, but batizik. It's like batizik. It's you feel it. Batizik. And then my wife was trying to teach our kid a little Arabic, and so the word for watermelon is a very similar word. So we were trying to teach him watermelon, which I believe is like batik. Something like and something like that. But then I did this, and he kind of heard the watermelon word, and I would do the tizik, and he thought it was funny, and he would just be giggling, and then we videoed him, and then like anyone who understands that this is like my finger in your ass,
my finger
in your watermelon ass. Yeah, it was just a whole. So at some point we're like I don't know if her family will see this. Sorry, in-laws.
Yeah, love it. I hope they do.
We're off to a great start. If this is who you are now, I can't wait to hear who you were before you became a dad.
Trouble. So I asked my wife actually. I was listening to a bunch of your episodes, and I was like, hey, what do you know? That's what they start with.
Yeah.
And so she was like, you know what? You're pretty much the same motherfucker. You haven't changed very much since we broke the cursing seal anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said, you're kind of the same guy. Like you didn't, and so, I mean, I'll go all the way back because I know your dad did the same thing, right? He went all the way back on episode 40.
Yeah,
that's right.
Just listen to that. But my father passed away when I was young, when I was 7 years old. We were immigrants from Russia. We escaped the communist regime.
Yeah.
So growing up without a father, and again, my family, I had grandparents right next door. I had a sister 10 years older than me. My mother was there, but she was busy. So I always say like, I'm being raised by television right now.
Yeah.
And again, child of the 90s. So Full House, Family Matters.
Did you ever get into Nick at Night? So like Gilligan's Island, like
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy.
Yeah,
the Andy
Griffith
Show. Yes.
Also they had the New Year's marathon and then the Christmas Day marathon.
Yeah. So you had some quality upbringing.
Yeah, definitely. And but I would always say that was kind of how I was raised. But I think thinking about the question and the whole exploration of existentialism and all that, I really thinking about the question, it was always like I kind of felt like I was always ready to be like the American dream coming from Russia.
Right.
Always kind of had these like logical next steps. I graduated college. I was like, I realized I'm going to be a physical therapist. I went to graduate school to get my doctorate in physical therapy. And it was always like, okay, that's the next step. And then whatever comes next, hanging out in New York City, having fun times. My wife also jokes since we moved here, everything's like, when I was in New York, we would go to the theater.
Exactly.
And I did propose to her on stage of Phantom of the Opera on Broadway.
No way. Come on. Yeah. Did you like know somebody in the cast?
Okay. One of my best friends is a rotating Phantom.
Amazing.
They've closed down, but Paul, shout out Paul. Paul Schaefer, not the David Letterman guy.
Got it.
Paul Schaefer, same name.
Same name.
There are people with the same names out there.
That happens. Yes.
It happens all the time.
Eric Brown, who was just here. I knew an Eric Brown in New York also. A lot of New Yorkers. A lot of names.
On the stage of Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
in front of who knows how many people.
Well, I wanted to do that. It was the after. We did the after tour. I wanted to do it in front of all the people.
Oh, okay.
I was told, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And Maha was very like, I'm very glad
That you didn't do that. Yeah.
I had envisioned it because I had seen him perform a few times, and he does like the whole, when he plays the Phantom, he comes out, there's like, hey guys, we're doing a fundraiser for blah, blah, blah. And like, go sign. I have a signed CD, and this is for whatever charity. And then I was thinking like, okay, now I'm going to bring up my buddy, Bo, just for randomness, for just, and that's how I had envisioned it. And it did not go. No, but he got one of the orchestra violinists. And I had a bunch of our friends there I was just like, yeah, everybody's coming to see the show. And then there was like 5 couples or like 10 or so people. And so, yeah, the violinist came playing. I dropped on my knee, and it was pretty fun.
That's very romantic.
Did they get dun 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 dun?
She played our song.
Yeah, okay.
our song. And
what's your song?
It was U2's One.
Yeah.
We're one, but we're not the same.
Right.
We're not the same.
Exactly.
And we like the Mary J. Blige version for the one for some reason.
Mary J.
Anyway, but the chandelier, to your point, was in the background. It was down because it was the end of the show. So the chandelier, for anyone, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Phantom, the chandelier comes down into the audience.
That's how many years has that show been out? If you haven't seen it by now,
you need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No longer on Broadway, unfortunately.
Sad times.
But they still tour, and my buddy did a Masquerade, which is like kind of a spin-off sequel, if you will.
Yeah.
And if you guys have ever heard of Sleep No More, have you heard of that?
Oh, yes. I have not been to it, but apparently it's based on some sort of maybe the Macbeth, like Shakespearean kind of.
But it's an immersive experience.
Yeah.
There was like an old hotel, and they're like, what do we do with this thing? And they decided to say, cool, we're going to have actors over like 4 floors, and then you're coming in. And
don't you have to wear a mask?
You don't have to, but they encourage
it. Yeah.
You get into it, and like you can't actually like you kind of are interacting, but yeah, people are running around. You can go up and down stairs. You're going to different like stories. It's a little wild. I'm sure it's much
kind of a choose your own adventure kind of thing.
Sure it's a lot better on heavy drugs, or just the right mix of drugs. Not my thing, but and so Masquerade was like a Phantom of the Opera version of that.
Okay.
And so
nice.
Very, very interesting. And I think they won some awards for doing that.
Okay.
So what? So you had always wanted to be a dad?
I think I had kind of seen it as inevitability. Just felt right. I actually before I moved to Dubai and opened my gym, which is where I met my wife. I was with a great girl in Southern New York City, and I think part of the reason when I was making the decision was like I didn't see kids in the future with her. She was 10 years older than me. When I was dating her, I was 30. She was 40. She had her tubes tied. And she had a 23-year-old daughter. She had a daughter when she was 16.
And
she actually wrote a very interesting article at some point on like medium.com about arguing that people should have kids at 16. Like saying how well it worked out for her.
Okay. I would like to see her sources that she cited for like the evidence of saying that's a good idea.
Interesting.
Listen, I know a dear friend of mine had their kid in high school, and their kid is fantastic. Shout out to Bailey. She just had her own child as well. Not while she was in high school.
Okay.
But sometimes it works out okay, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for everybody. I don't think that's
she wrote a whole she's a smart gal.
Yeah.
Sure.
She is like the head of human development for Chanel worldwide.
Oh,
she makes a lot of money. She worked at Google. She worked at, anyway, not to make it sound like a, ex-girlfriend. I'm happily married.
So you knew that you wanted to be and so you were like, this isn't going to work out. Right. And then you had your own studio in Dubai, and then you meet Maha there. And did you guys hit it off right away?
Yeah, it was pretty instant. Ironically, similar to the PhD chick, and they both have PhDs in psychology, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Whatever that tells
you. Got a type.
I got a type.
Yeah.
But I was running a CrossFit gym and a box, as we call it in the industry. But it was the same kind of thing where the previous was like caught my attention because I was in the process of writing a book for the ex-girlfriend, and she, when I was like, go out, do your warm-ups, come back, tell me a fun fact about your partner, like partner up. And so Julie, the ex, was like, came back, and the partner was like, yeah, she just wrote whatever book. At the time, I was like, oh my God, so cool. I started talking like genuine curiosity. Yeah. And then we hit it off there. And then with Maha, it was same kind of thing, like going around the room at the beginning of a warm-up. CrossFit's great, guys. Have you guys done CrossFit?
Oh yeah. I've done a couple wads.
There you go. He knows the lingo.
That's right.
He knows the lingo.
Not. It's showing.
But yeah, so Maha was kind of like fun fact. She came out. She's a sex and relationship therapist. I was like, whoa, that sounds interesting. In Dubai, of all places,
I like both of those things.
In Dubai. Yeah, I like both of those things. I like that reaction. Yeah, and we hit it off there, and we were throwing a, as we do in Dubai, yacht party. As a gym, we had a yacht party.
Nice.
All you can drink and just get on a boat and have some fun. And
sounds incredible.
So invited her. I was dating another girl at the time, and spent the whole time with Maha, and like it was a whole thing, and we really bonded there.
Yeah,
that's our love story.
All right,
love that.
Yeah.
And then you guys hit it off. You're like connecting on all these different levels, and then you proposed to her on Broadway.
Well, we decided we were leaving Dubai. It was like, come back to New York, check out New York with me. We were in our 30s. It was pretty intense. She wanted to get a dog. A dog in Manhattan, not such a good idea.
Yeah. It's difficult because, like, I don't know if you know this, there's not a lot of like places right there on the street that you can just like let them out. You know, you have to actually take them for walks somewhere. Yeah.
It was expensive. It was not tenable. And again, it was like, this would have been cool in our 20s, running around again. Sure. Having a good time, Broadway and sporting events and concerts, and food. Yeah, the food. We're both foodies by far and large. We could do an hour on food if you want.
Yeah.
What's your favorite local
favorite local establishment? Let's see.
Community.
Community is fantastic. Honestly, we love a down and dirty Efren's night. Every once in a while, we'll just get the combo fajitas. Throw in a little bit of
cold beers.
Yeah, Post is great.
You got the Post cup right there.
Big fan of Post. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. We just had you know what I just found in Boulder the other day? It was some sushi place called I can't remember the name of it, but they have a tank inside that Stella loved with a jellyfish.
Okay.
Do we know what we're talking about? No? Okay. Doesn't matter.
Was it on
right off Pearl?
Okay.
Right off Pearl. Yeah, we absolutely love, but we love cooking food at the house.
Okay.
Honestly, if you ask me the best restaurant, best place to get food here in Lafayette, this house right here.
Got it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to take you up on that.
Come on over.
That just happened.
Yeah, let's go. It happened. You guys heard it right here. Get over here.
Tonight.
I love cooking for people.
Awesome.
I made 10 pounds of wings yesterday.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, just have some left if you want some.
Oof. Great.
I heard they're hard to light.
Nah.
Sorry. Okay, we're getting off track.
Dad jokes.
Yeah. So what's your place here that you will tolerate?
Our favorite is Rosario's. Right, straight up 287 here at Longmont. Ken Pratt Boulevard. So yeah, there's Goodfellas Diner, which is terrible. No shout out to them.
We rescind that shout out.
Yeah.
I want to shout out how bad they are. No, they weren't. You know, I don't know. Whatever.
They're fine.
Rosario wasn't great. What kind of Rosario is Peruvian?
Oh.
Every bite you have there is flavorful. My biggest complaint is, and I agree. I've had much better steaks and things at people's houses. And people actually know what they're doing on the grill. Yeah. For some reason, the restaurants do not like to salt and pepper their food appropriately. I think, I don't know, Midwest, not judging, but you know. Anyway,
we just like to.
I'm a coastal elite.
Yeah.
Yes. Taste of flesh. Yes.
Know thyself. I appreciate you being honest about that. Yeah.
Rosario's okay. We're good.
Rosario's. I take everyone there. I actually have buddies coming in one from Los Angeles, and he's eating all sorts of crazy fun things. Another one from New York and another one from Nashville. They're coming in 2 weeks. So I'm like, I don't know where to take these guys that I can impress them with anything. So, you know, if someone joked about Rocky Mountain oysters, which I have not tried yet. Yeah. Have you guys tried them?
No. As soon as I found out what they were, I'm not doing that.
You know, for something novel, I think what is it? The Buckhorn Exchange.
Yeah. I looked into
Denver.
it. Yeah.
It can be hit or miss, but it's wild game.
Yeah.
So
I love wild game. I get liver, heart, I go to 7 Generation Farm over here. I pick up some stuff. There's also my butcher Frank in Longmont. They have all sorts of great stuff. So yeah, I love.
This is your personal butcher, Frank?
No, that's the name of the establishment.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
It's called My Butcher.
I don't know. I mean, I can't tell.
It was good naming because I think that's what they're the place where everyone knows your name.
Yeah, I've gotten stuff there before in 7th Generation Farm.
7th Generation
went
Farm.
On a half pig with somebody.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Smart move.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that. We got the big freezer, chest freezer. I've been thinking about doing a half cow or half pig, and just haven't pulled the trigger on that. But,
sounds like maybe after this we'll all commit.
Let's go in together on an entire animal.
All right. You're now engaged.
Back in New York.
Yeah,
back in New York.
We want to start
a dog. You want to start?
We got a dog,
okay.
And then we drove across. We were debating actually Colorado versus California.
Yeah,
SoCal. I was thinking San Diego.
Yeah.
We came.
Where I was born.
There you go. Did a 10-day trip. Half here in Denver, half in San Diego. Had some friends all over, got to hang out, chill, and so I was definitely. I'm a water guy. If you guys can see the tattoo.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, cool.
And I'll let me explain this thing too. You guys know what that symbol is? The unilome. It's usually more of a liney kind of thing, but the artist did a little wavy because, like I said, I have another one on my ankle from my mother and my father. A dolphin crashed through a wave, and so water. I grew up in Coney Island, actually a block away from the ocean, so definitely love the ocean.
Yes,
that is something I'm missing being here in Colorado. But anyway, this symbol, the unilome, is kind of a religious, Buddhist-ish. It's a path to enlightenment.
Okay.
So all the different journeys of life. So your question again, very connects to my soul and heart. You have all these different, like childhood, whatever, different careers, different relationships, and then you kind of hopefully find enlightenment. I always think of it as like a chutes and ladders thing, where some days I'm back here, some days I'm all the way. Like, I feel like I'm right there. I can touch it and reach it. And actually, the artist did a cool thing. As I mentioned, I'm a physical therapist, so like this, he did a little clavicle collarbone thing. I wanted to get some anatomy art in.
All
there,
right.
so kind of snuck that in.
I can't. Now that you said that, I don't have my glasses on, but I can make it out.
You can make it out.
The clavicle or the whole thing?
No, the clavicle. No, I can see that it's.
You got freaking X-rays.
Yeah.
That's Stella's first. It was a buckle fracture. Yeah, she somehow like just gently stepped off a stairs and just fractured her leg.
Do you guys know which human bone is the best at telling dad jokes?
I think I do.
The humerus.
Yeah.
We got that out of the way early. Yes.
We're just like firing on all dad cylinders today.
I'm ready.
Absolutely love it.
We're having our stay salty, my friend.
Let's get into. Hopefully someday they'll be a sponsor of this show. Anyway,
You guys got out to Colorado.
Nope, we went to California first.
No, come on.
That was the spoiler alert again. We got my way, and we were there 2019, so we were through the 2020 election, which was a lot going on there. We were at Dana Point.
Okay.
If anyone knows Dana Point, they call it like Reagan County instead of Orange County. So a little politically driven, and also COVID happened. So a lot going on. And we were after like 2 years or so. I think maybe even only a year and a half, right through the heart of that. We were like, let's change it up. And so we did debate a few other places, but Colorado was the winner. And we've been here since 2021, loving it. We were in Superior initially. That first year we were there. This is a whole other tangent, not parent related, but like literally the third day I think we were there. If you guys remember this, 2021, there was. And somebody texted me. I didn't even hear about it. Someone texted me like, "Hey, are you okay?"
Right.
There was a plane. Fire. No, before the fire. Plane. This was like in early March or something. I think we moved here February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. But I think it was a few days later. There was a plane that dropped parts of its wing. It was like a United or American, and it dropped parts of its wing and like it landed in people's backyard. And this was like literally, it was in Broomfield, not too far from where we were. So people are
terrifying.
There was and then the big Marshall fires happened that same, all in the first year. There was all sorts of other stuff. I can spend another 20 minutes.
And then you guys just stayed. You were just like,
we were like,
we moved from here to here to here. Like, there's pieces of plane falling out of the sky.
It's like World According to Garp, if anybody saw that, it's just like the plane flew into the house. He's like, we'll take it. I mean,
we'll take it.
That is actually true. That's a good point. It's not.
I think a few more weeks later after the plane thing, we look out our window and there's a freaking tornado.
No, come on.
And it's within. And I texted, "Is this what is happening?" Nobody's like freaking out.
No.
And we took I have a photo of it, and our neighbors like, that happens. It just dies out. It's fine.
So wait, so you're 3 3/4 in 2020. So no, you didn't have the
We
kid
didn't have the
yet.
kid yet.
Just
No,
yeah. So, but
no.
you were still here, and were you guys like trying?
After we survived that crazy first year, including the Marshall fires,
we
we're
better
like,
have a kid.
Now we're ready.
Now we're like, yeah, I think we're good. I think we're good. Yeah, and we went to Crested Butt, Crested
Crested,
Butte, Crested
Booty.
crusty butt.
Crusty
Crusty
Butt.
booted.
And we at that point we said let's try to do this thing, and we took a test right before we left, and it was negative, and we had a really good weekend.
Yeah.
Partied and skied and all that good
Love it.
stuff, and then got back, and she decided to take a test the day we got back, so that was like 4 days later, and I was working in my garage doing some dry needling on one of my clients, and she came down, she's like, hey, guess what, positive. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That, and like, are you sure what we did this weekend was all right? Like, did that cost? Was it too soon? I don't know. Timing. Timing.
Yeah. They're at that size. They're very resilient.
Yeah.
They're very they can handle a lot at that size. Yeah.
It might have been like a couple cells.
Yeah, they're fine.
The ones they don't need.
How did you feel?
Shearing.
How did you feel whenever she told you?
Well, especially if you're dry needling somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, did I sorry.
Yeah. It was definitely, again, this was a fun question to reflect on, as I know you guys asked this whole, like, when did you feel like that? Yeah, it was, again, I feel like the whole journey is the destination thing of like, wow, this is really happening. Okay, what do we do next? Like, very matter of fact, again, maybe it's one of my flaws as a human, but also, again, I and even with her, like, I'm like, everything's gonna work out. Like, we're gonna figure this out, and everything's gonna work out.
Yeah.
Even when jumping ahead to the day he was born, he was 25 days early. So they want to make sure his lungs are.
That's not insignificant.
No,
That's
no. And again, we did a lot of things I think right as far as health wise and things like that. Ma's a really fit human, so I think it helped a bit. But there was the period where they're deciding, are his lungs strong enough? They give him, I forgot exactly what they give you to kind of, it's almost like a steroid to kind of give him performance enhancing lungs at the moment.
interesting.
Super lungs.
Super lungs. Yeah.
So there was like a substance, something they gave like in utero to.
No, I think it was right after he was born.
Okay.
We did the delivery. I cut the cord, but they take him to a transitionary thing and to say, like, if his lungs aren't strong enough, we're going to go to NICU.
Yeah.
And then if his lungs are good, like, you can go back to mama and all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, they rushed him and me, like, you can come. She's got to stay and recover. And so that was the moment. And I wish I'd like thought of pulling out my phone and taking a picture, but just his tiny little finger grabbing my finger.
Oh,
his
that's
hand
cool.
grabbing my finger.
Yeah.
But like that moment was definitely like the like, wow, this is real.
Jeez,
like and again, even during the birth, I was and again, I was a CrossFit guy. I'm a workout, all this. It was, I felt, and we still keep in touch with one of the nurses that helped deliver him.
Yeah.
She's actually helping out at like raising parents and everything. And
Nice.
we reflect on that whole thing of how she's like, you were like a freaking personal trainer. It's like, okay, we're going to the, an EMOM. Like, okay, we're going to take a 3-minute little break and go. Breathe.
Right.
Okay. Breathe, recover. Breathe, and go. And like, it was this whole thing. And I was trying to coach her through it. It felt like that.
Yeah.
If you've done some of these workouts, I always think of this like, okay, I'm just going through this period, and what's the next thing? Like today I was driving him around, trying to get him to nap.
Right.
I start thinking of this. Okay, cool. It's I got to be at this podcast at 11. Wife's got doing this. Okay, it's 9 a.m. Like, I'm gonna drive him for 30 minutes. If he doesn't fall asleep in 30 minutes, what do I do then? But just kind of breaking things down. I've always had that mindset. I think. Of like, what's the next thing?
It's a great way to do it too, because honestly, as someone who can be has been in the past easily overwhelmed. As I get older, like I find out like that having this, Lauren has taught me this phrase, freedom in a framework. And like, if I know that like, this is what the day looks like, and I have to do this, and this, like, then like, as long as I hit this goal and this goal and this goal and check these things off, then how I do it sometimes like it is a little bit more flexible. So like having that like plan, that framework, then it gives me freedom, and it honestly alleviates a lot of that anxiety.
David Goggins, I think, discipline equals freedom.
Yeah.
I just noticed how small I look compared to you guys. The angles are
we're gonna
tiny.
He's honestly, for those of you watching, he's huge.
Yes,
He's huge. Yeah.
Shoulders.
We're just closer to the camera, and that's the only reason
okay.
it is. Yeah.
You can check me out on my other angle.
We'll send you all his social media as you can see. Yeah.
It's like, wow, I'm tiny. You guys look huge. I'm in the land of giants.
So welcome, Bo, and it's good to have you here. Yeah. So now, with that, and did the regimentation of kind of caring for your kiddo at that time keep you from feeling maybe some helplessness at all? I mean, did that ever enter your mind, being that, okay, he's really small, they're not sure about how the lungs are going? Was there any back fear, or was this just like, I'm thinking only in forward thought?
Yeah, I think the latter. Like, I'm always thinking in that, like, okay, what do we do? You know, and it's a lot of cliches also. And I run a few dads groups as well, and I'm doing one at Raising Parents. Keep shouting out. Don't want to keep just plugging.
And what days is that on?
Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights at 6 p.m.
in person here in Lafayette, here at the old 95A Bistro Space.
If you're in the area, it's a fantastic place. Go check it out. We need to go pop in sometime. Is it for dads of all age kids?
We don't have any restrictions right now. As it grows, maybe we'll break things up into teenagers and younger kids, etc. But right now, I've also preparing and all that. I was into some men's groups before having a kid, and then in terms of changing the identity and everything, I left the men's group. I was like, guys, I'm not that, some of them were dads too, but I was like, I think it's time for me to focus that. And 1 hour a week in general, I'm a pretty busy human. A lot of patience, and so I was like, I 1 hour a week, I want to focus on more of my dad energy, and like, let's dedicate everything to just being a better dad. And so I started a group with another buddy, one of my best friends from junior high school, and beyond, who was having his own first kid. And we're like, cool, the timing works out. Let's start this group. Got a bunch of us. So there's like 8 of us that have been doing it more or less for since he was born. So almost 4 years. We do it every Sunday morning virtually. Actually, we switched the time because we opened the business. So we're doing it later today. It's been really powerful. But yeah, thinking about that, like, all these cliches that keep coming up, and how we can, look at them as cliches or look at them as actual ways to move forward. So it's always the, to your question about, was I able to kind of think of the next thing? It's, don't wish for an easy life, wish to be strong enough to handle whatever life throws at you, or however. So it's always like, okay, if he goes to NICU, like, we're gonna handle it, and if he if he's born with whatever thing, we're gonna figure it out, we're gonna handle it. He actually was a little slow to speak, so even we're like, okay, let's look at what resources we have. At I think 6 months or something, or no, maybe my time's all screwy. But at some point we were like looking into the slower speech development or whatever. Colorado amazingly has free resources for that, but it is a little bit of a process. So you had to, like, by the time we did the interview or whatever, and then got on a video call, like, with the occupational therapist or whatever it was, he was like, hello, my name is Rayan. Like, and it was like speaking, by the time it took like a couple weeks, he had developed that speech, like, bang. So, but anyway, And also something that will happen too with preemies, and especially 3 weeks early, is that can also lead to a delay. The timeline's a little off, right? But that's really, and we've had several dads there were challenges like right away, but several of the dads and the moms as well would kind of gauge the reaction of the medical team too, and kind of going, okay, they don't seem to be panicked. That helps me stay grounded as well. So I don't know if that was helpful, but it sounds like, you've still got a connection with one of the nurses. So obviously it was a solid team, and they recognized you as being a solid team as well. So it's always a plus. Something that you said earlier that made me think of a question I wanted to ask you was that these men's groups and the thing that we run into sometimes when we get to, as men get together. I was talking to somebody else from the locally that has men get together sometimes, and the issue they always have is like, well, how do we get these conversations started? Because I think, I don't know, I was watching something the other day, and it was talking about how women a lot of times connect face to face, and how men connect shoulder to shoulder, right? Need to be grilling or at a sporting event, right? And that's historically how it's just been done, right?
But I wonder if you could talk a little bit about like these men's groups and what do you do to like get the conversation going and connecting with these dads groups, and not just men's group, like just fathers, like speaking about stuff.
A little bit. What you're talking about, discipline equals freedom, is we have a little bit of a structure, enough that, and with the ones that I've been doing for 4 years now. Sometimes we'll have topics, we'll do book clubs or whatever, and let that guide it a little bit. But it's been very. We check in at the beginning. Yeah. That's the main structure point. And so
love that.
If we check in and it's like, hey, this is going on for me. Yeah. Okay, cool. If I'm facilitating the group, I'm going to take a note of that. Okay, let's move on to Eric and Eric check in. And then, okay, cool. Let's come back to you. Like what, do you want to talk a little more about what's going on? And again, I want to be clear, this is not therapy, but it just allows it. And a lot of it is from the beginning, setting those rules again of this is a safe space and whatever those terms mean. Right. But we believe in, we're not going back to our partners and being like, can you believe what Eric said about it? And it's just that structure, creating again, safe space, trust. And again, for men, it is tricky, right? So it did help in the online version that I chose. I kind of invited guys that I knew, and I had a bunch of guys. I was a little surprised, sort of, but I also kind of understand. There's just guys that are just like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm never going to talk about my feelings, let alone being vulnerable with humans that I know. Like I don't want to risk myself that way. So a little bit to answer your question was that discipline equals freedom. Having a structure really helps, and just once you build that friendship or dynamic, and the other funny part of that whole thing to kind of tangent, I talk in tangents. If you haven't noticed, is the other tangent there is like a lot of times we also check out at the end of the call. We also kind of like, okay, 5-minute time check at the end of the hour. We want to respect everyone's time, especially on the virtual. It's like easy to just get caught up in a good conversation. But and so a lot of times we check out. It's like, man, I know so many other dads that would benefit from having this space. We just had such a good, you came to me with this problem and we talked it out, and you got 5 or 7 or 8 different perspectives. Right. And like, it really, we kind of like helped change some paradigms and perspectives, and this thing that could have continued to turn into a much worse thing, whether it turns into resentment, which is one of the biggest. And my wife is a sex and relationship therapist. So a lot of times it's dealing with couples that are going through some kind of divorce crisis, whatever. And I think resentment seems to be one of the biggest problems that we see in those relationships and those dynamics. So to be able to talk to the people through the thing, and I've had times myself where it's like, hey, I was really annoyed by this thing. And again, if I didn't have a chance to bring it to my partner, here's an hour-long thing where we can go through this and talk about whatever. And again, I'm able to kind of, again, therapy light, but we don't want to call it therapy. I think
I was telling somebody about this show in particular the other day, and they were like, oh, it's kind of like pseudo therapy. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, that's what, I mean, anytime you sit down, so you're telling me that anytime we sit down and have an honest conversation between the two of us, and I share something with you and become vulnerable with you, that's therapy. If that's what therapy is, then I'll have therapy every single day of my life.
Well, as we talk with so many other dads, I think one of the things that is so fun about this show is we're just telling our truth. Right. It's just, we're not making up stories to win anything. And it's funny how, not funny, but just, I love it when a guy will come on and just go, well, I was really nervous, but we just had a conversation. Right. And so it was just kind of this nice experience rather than going, okay, we're going to needle you. And well, have you considered this? It just doesn't need to happen. That's not what this is built for.
And becoming a parent, also a father, one of the things I started noticing as I took in more resources and books and podcasts about fatherhood, it was just like, just don't be an asshole and be a better man, a human. And I think it'll all work out. And it's like, you can choose to do that. I walked in, started talking about the sleep, cry it out method and sleep training. And so you can get into all those granular things. But at the end of the day, we're all doing our best, and we look at previous generations and this and that. And it's like, but what I find in doing these groups is, and going through it myself, it's what are you struggling with? What are you, and again, that reflection of like, what is the point of this journey we're on? Can you go back and say like, hey, this happened at work. Like, what do you guys think? Can I bounce this? Am I the asshole? There's I don't know if you guys know this. I was just listening to another podcast we were talking about, and I think on Reddit, you can put in that, like, it's a whole thing where it's like, am I the asshole? This is the situation.
Yeah.
And like, I'm open to saying I might be the asshole.
If you don't know if you're the asshole, you're probably the asshole.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
As self-proclaimed asshole most of the time.
But I think what you said a second ago was like identifying like how to stop. Like you said, don't be an asshole as a father. But the first step to that is being able to acknowledge that sometimes I can be an asshole. Right. And what that, and then being able to like, okay, why was I doing that? How can I like change that? How can I be honest about like the reason that I said this thing or I behaved this way?
And one of the books that we did that was really impactful, and Tim Ferriss recommended this. He said he has like 100 copies at his foyer, and any guest he comes in the house, he gives it to. And it's like an $8 book. I'm sure when you buy 100 copies like he did, probably even cheaper. But it's called Awareness by Anthony DeMello. You guys know that one at all?
I do know that author, but I haven't read that book.
He was a Jesuit priest and kind of like ended up exploring all these other Hinduism and Buddhism and all these other. And it's a little bit of his lectures. You can literally get up for free on Spotify and everything, and I think on YouTube. You can it's the whole book, and it's just him lecturing. But then they took it and put it on paper. But it's put together in a nice way. But the big thing is a little bit playing off of what you said is that I think the thing I've noticed again is it's being aware of what your reactions are. And realizing like if the kid does this, it's going to make me react this way, and saying like, do I have actual self-awareness in that moment? Or the ability to stop that pattern. The same thing with my partner. My partner says this thing because out of her or their fear or their own insecurity or their own thing. And then my instinct is to then do double down or whatever. And starting to understand these patterns. And it does get into this therapy space. Without calling it therapy. But yeah, it's really powerful and impactful. And I think we all need that constant reminder. In fact, the name of the group, and we have the WhatsApp group for the main one I'm talking about, the dad's group, is called "It's Not About You." And I think
that's huge. That's powerful.
It's that constant reminder that whatever just happened, it's like whatever she just said to you or he just said to you, I can't take that personally. I can take it personally. I probably want to take it personally.
But what does it benefit you to take it personally?
Right. I always say anger is a wasted emotion. That's another cliche that's been in my mind. But it happens. You're going to get angry. I'm angry right now. No.
I could tell. I'm a little scared, honestly.
I'm trying to make myself look smaller. So, exactly.
Rise up. Like the phoenix from the ashes. All right.
Too funny. So it sounds like, it's great. And I think one of the things with doing men's groups and even when Lucas and I are doing this, granted my boys are grown, but there's always things you can take away and share. And I just love that. And I just think it is so empowering when we see guys doing this. And so I think when we were talking about one of the groups that we went and visited to learn more about their dad's group was only a couple guys came out. And then somebody told somebody's wife about it, and then they told all the wives, and all the wives said, "You're going to this." And then once they get there the first time, they're like, "Oh, this is really great. This is really fun." And then you build some relationships out of it. But you're able to share, and somebody goes, "Ooh, I had that experience too," or something like it. And you go, "Oh, wow, how are you dealing with it, working with it?" And just going, "Okay." And
I'll say I was at part of a CrossFit gym, and they tried to start a men's group, partly inspired by like there was a member of the community that ended up committing whatever the politically correct term is.
Unaliving themselves.
Unaliving, that's exactly the new term. So the group was intended for that. The guy had really good intentions. He might hear this podcast. Again, I went to the first one, and it was just incredibly unstructured. And best of intentions. It was a lot of guys. It was great energy.
Right.
But I was kind of like, and it ended up being like a 2.5 hour thing because of the lack of structure and everybody talking. And then it was like, okay, let's try this and let's talk about what's happening here. And I'm still in their WhatsApp group. And again, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. But I was just like, this again ties into what I don't want to happen in the same way as a father is like, oh, I see that father doing that thing with their child. And I'm like, I don't want to be like that. I can see how that's a negative and not to, we always joke about, again, being the asshole or judging. But if, I'm like, I'm judging that person. I think it's a natural thing. Whether we call it judging, it has a negative connotation. I once called somebody ignorant and they got really offended. And I'm just like, you just don't know you just don't know anything about nuclear physics. You're ignorant about nuclear physics.
Yeah.
It's just the definition of the word.
Yeah.
Like
That's true.
Whatever. But yeah, again, ignorant has this negative connotation.
Right.
And again, all these negative kind of things of like, I'm judging you. But yeah, again, for my own journey, I'm able to look at it and say, and again, going back to my childhood, I would watch, again, Family Matters and The Cosby Show, which we're not going to talk about Cosby, are we?
Right.
Well, scandal noted. Yeah.
Back then it was
He was great.
He was America's father.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, bottom line is what the things you can learn from that and be like, and I think I always did have this like, cool, when I am a dad, like I will do this, or like I was picking up all these things.
Yeah.
I think I always did have that perspective. So I don't know.
No, I love what you're saying, because I feel like, there are a lot of these words like judgment or ignorant or whatever that can make us feel all these different things, but honestly, therapy that can make us, but they're all just things that help us to understand and contextualize this growth and this educational journey that we're going on. Again, I love what you're saying about the destination is the journey. The experience is just showing up, and that's the point of living, is to live. And so our judgment is like, we can't understand the world without judgment sometimes. But I think the part that bothers me sometimes when I call someone judgy, I have a person in mind right now that I'm not going to say, because maybe they might listen to this, and I just don't want to have that conversation. But my point is that you can be judgy, like you can judge things without being a dick about it.
Right.
I'm still working on that part.
Right.
As a physical therapist, I always joke. I'm like, it's my job to judge how you're doing a push-up or a squat and be like, hey, that's wrong. And also let me show you a way to do it better. But yeah, I mean, I kind of always approach it that way. And again, there's going to be people who are like, oh, he told me my squat was bad. And I'm like,
But if your squat's bad, you're doing it because you want him to do it in the right form and be
again,
safe.
to my own reflection and everything I've been working on is like, is there a nicer way I could say this? Sure, maybe. Is it worth the effort? Maybe.
I mean, a lot of it comes down to is like being confident and self-assured in yourself and understanding, like, if someone calls, like, I think that some of my family members can be ignorant about certain things. But the thing is like, if you tell me I'm ignorant about whatever it is you said a second ago, like
nuclear physics.
Am I saying it correctly? If you say I'm ignorant about that, my feelings are not going to be hurt. I'm not upset about that, because I don't know about. I'm not even going to try to say it again. It's the thing with quantum mechanics. That's so much easier to say. Thank you.
Quantum leap.
Quantum. Iggy, are you there? Just like having a little bit of a thick skin, and like understanding that, like, again, it's not about you. Okay, so I
think also, like, as you're kind of saying, is I'm judging only to go, oof, would I do it that way? You know what? That is a great way of doing it. I might incorporate that into my style as well.
Yeah.
So I know. I think I'm looking and going, I don't want to do that, but I think I do that. Now I really want to work towards changing that.
And I'll call out my profession of physical therapy, where, I work with OCR here locally to help people through their post-surgical stuff. I also do more fitness-related stuff out of my garage, online programming, all that. And I do way too much stuff, just like I talk in tangents, and my brain's always going. But when I work with people, especially in more of that corporate type setting, I reflect and look back, and I see I could probably make more people happy, and happy being like content, by being more vanilla and being less of myself.
But is that what you want?
That's not what I want at all. And what I've loved about the previous place I was at, and the only reason I even got there, I had to go down this path, was because of, we bought a house, need a mortgage, need a whole thing, need a W-2 and all that. But and I was like, okay. And one of the reasons, again, looking back at choosing the trajectory of my career, the alternative was actually doing sports broadcasting. So I always loved the mic. I don't know what this symbol is, but
this is Mike.
Yeah, bullshit. That's all it is, bullshitting on the mic. But yeah, I always kind of chose that path, and when I chose physical therapy, I was like, I can always just go do the thing. I feel like this is a career that will always be necessary. People are always going to be hurt. And I still don't think AI, maybe I'll eat my words soon, but I don't think AI has taken my job of being able to stick needles in people And it is
No.
that human connection and getting people to actually change.
Right.
And that's where, again, like, I think I go way above and beyond, even in that more insurance-based setting, where if I charge people cash, yeah, they expect me to give them, like, you know, be on call 24 hours a day or whatever, and just give that extra above and beyond treatment. But when I'm just seeing people who's post-total knee replacement, like, I'm the first person talking about protein.
Right.
I'm the first person
Yeah.
talking about sleep positions.
Right.
I'm going above and beyond. And like, I'm like, yeah, because you're in front of me. You're trusting me to help you. Where I think a lot of physical therapists, and again, I'm sure someone will hear this and get offended by it and take it
It's
personally.
okay.
And again, like, we can go down the psychology of
Yeah.
that, is that they're insecure about
My dad would always
Right.
say, you got the same shoes to get glad in as you do to get mad in. So just deal with it.
Right.
But yeah, going down this path of saying, yeah, again, I'm working on like, how much am I myself, and looking back at, like, okay, this person complained that I literally talked about my podcast, and like, I had launched a book. I wrote a book called Healthy for Life. I wrote a chapter in a book. So there was 25 co-authors. So one of my things was like, cool, I'm going to invite them on my podcast, Bo Knows Health. And I said, so we could talk about, and there literally was some
Delete
about
that.
quantum physics.
Right? No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
There were two people talking about quantum mechanics, which I still don't have the slightest inkling of understanding. And I think that one of the, like, famous quantum physics people says, like, if you think you understand quantum physics, then you clearly don't understand.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I clearly am in that boat, because I don't understand it still, having talked to people. And anyway, but I was launching this podcast, or I was launching the book, and I had a bunch of, so that weekend I was recording like 6 podcasts. So somebody was like, my patient was like, what are you doing this weekend?
Jeez.
And I was like, yeah, I'm recording like these 6 podcasts. And like, I don't know what the trigger was for this person. They had been coming to see me for a few weeks, and they just got, like, they ended up weeks later, after canceling their sessions, complaining about me to my, like, superior, and specifically citing that I talked about my podcast.
They asked you
I
what
know,
you
they're
were
like, "What are you
doing.
this week?" I was like, I wonder, again, I'm trying to, and one of the big themes that I come back to as a father, coming all the way back, bringing it back, and what we talk about in the dads group and stuff, we're always kind of reminding ourselves to work on is lead with kindness, lead
Yeah.
with curiosity.
Yeah.
There's that judgment piece too. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
judging and I'm seeing your squat sucks, but but can I say that in a nicer way?
Yeah.
But also, yeah, like, lead with curiosity. So, and so this person apparently had been dealing, like, whatever I said, that we were having a good time. She was coming.
Right.
I had witnesses, my front desk person. I had an intern there. Like, all these people, like, she seemed like she was having a good time. She kept coming back. You guys were joking around.
Yeah.
And she apparently, like, was dealing with whatever she's dealing with. And she said, when she called my supervisor or whatever, said, my therapist told me I should just get this out and complain to you and vent to about Bo, and whatever. And he told me this. He had, I didn't get in trouble, but he had to bring this to me, and all that. But the fact that he brought out, like, that I don't know. Again, this was shortly after Trump's second victory, getting elected, and so I know that podcasts were a big part of that. I believe this was a more liberal person. I'm not going to go down the political rabbit hole here.
Sure.
But the point being, I think maybe just podcasts being associated with Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan and being like a whole manosphere, toxic masculinity, like, just the word podcast might have triggered her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would love to know out of just true, genuine curiosity, but
right.
we got to move on, and we got to do it. But anyway, always trying to learn and reflect on these things.
Yeah.
Love that.
Wow. Yeah. It's okay. You've already given us a dad joke. Do you have a closer?
Why is Matthew McConaughey a terrible driver?
Why?
I've never heard this.
Because he can only make all right.
Okay. All right. I love your reaction.
This is the reaction a dad joke is supposed to get. It's the reaction a dad joke is supposed to get.
I'm the worst and the best audience member, because I'll laugh at the worst. It's like, how do you know if you're funny? If this guy laughs at you?
I want to share a joke. I'm very proud of my toddler's joke. I'm going to share this.
Yes.
All right. So what do you call the things that blow? And this is appropriate. 4th of July was yesterday. I got my American socks on for the camera. He came up with this himself at like 3 years old. What do you call when the things go up in the sky and explode? What do you call them?
Fireworks.
And if they don't explode, what do you call them?
Fire no works.
Fire no works. He came up with that himself.
That's a brilliant child.
My proudest moment as a father.
Mensa.
dad joke? Is it a toddler
Yes.
joke? I don't even know.
He's destined to be a solid dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
definitely destined to be a dad for his kids. That's awesome.
He loves these
Oh my
jokes,
God.
man.
Bo, thanks so much for being here, man.
Thanks
We
for
really
having me,
appreciate it.
guys.
And Bo Knows Health.
And,
check out the podcast.
Check out Bo Knows Health. Check out Raising Parents.
Raising Parents,
I think we
please.
got on the back.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
It's so small we can't see it. It's so far away.
Perfect.
But we'll put it in the description at the bottom.
Oh,
Really
man.
appreciate you guys having me.
Cheers.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
You only get one spin around this rock. You only have so many days until it stops. And how you show up for your kids, well, that's your superpower. You might not know it now, but this is your Pappy Hour. Pappy Hour, Pappy Hour, let's talk it out, talk it out. What's it like? What's life all about?